Greetings. It's Jeffrey Guterman here with the Stratomatic Network and Jeffrey Guterman, my account. And I am today the topic in my glamorous life is talk. And what I have compiled, a collection of audio that I have created through the recent past. And I don't remember much of it, if any of it. I'm just going to let it rip. Here's the first one. It's a message, and this is stuff I all created on audio on X, formerly Twitter. This one is 33 seconds long, January 6, 2022.
I was just sitting here and I got a very sick feeling emotionally about people who are going through a really hard time, much harder than me. I wish the best for everybody. This is a very personal message. It's from the gut. Thank you.
Here's a message in the morning of November 15th, 2020. This is 1 minute and 59 seconds long.
Good morning. This is Jeffrey Guterman. Just checking in. I have had a very, very disruptive sleep pattern, like so many people during this pandemic, and it's really hit ahead. I'm at a point now where I was, and the good news is it's past tense. I was awakening at you're not going to believe this, 2:30 in the morning. It used to be 3:30, it used to be 4, but a couple days in a row, 2:30 in the morning. And the problem is I'm in bed napping too often, even though I never nap. I get a twilight. I'm going to sleep too early, and the vicious cycle goes on. So I made a commitment last night. I stayed up till 10 p.m. and I woke up at 5:45 a.m., which is really late for me. And I am determined to stay out of the bedroom and nap once a day. And so I'm tired. My eyes are already getting heavy. But I'm gonna stay out until noon, and then I'll take a brief nap. There is some good news. The psychopath has conceded, or at least conceded as much as he will. If you look on his timeline, he posted a tweet that starts off, "He won, ... He claims because it was rigged, but this is progress." So I'm very proud of the psychopath. Let's make it a good day.
Let me get on to the next one. I have a lot of these. This is a message that's a minute and 46 seconds long on November 13, 2020.
This is my morning message. My name is Jeffrey Guterman, and happy Friday to everybody. It's another day. Drip, drip, drip. CNN and other news media outlets have projected that Joe Biden will win Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina are still pending. For you baseball fans, been playing the second game of the doubleheader today, sometime today, between the New York Mets and the Cincinnati Reds. And pitching for the New York Mets will be Bill Wakefield, and John Sitoris will be hurling for the Reds. This is Stratomatic, my 1964 replay. Stratomatic is the original fantasy simulation sports game. In the first game of the doubleheader, the Mets won 3-2 on the very effective pitching of Dennis Ryband, who went all the way. So join me if you can. I don't know exactly what time I'll do it. Let's stay strong, let's stay well, and I will catch you all next time.
Now number 4. And this is 1 minute and 52 seconds. It has to do with Stratomatic. Before I started playing Stratomatic on YouTube, I was doing it on X, formerly Twitter. This is November 12, 2020 at 8:36 in the morning. It is 1 minute and 52 seconds in duration.
Good morning, everybody. This is Jeffrey Guterman, and I wanted to give a message of hope. Some things happened today, namely Caitlin Collins of CNN was on the air, and she reported that sources say that Trump now understands that he lost the election. Also, I just saw the governor of Ohio being interviewed on CNN. His main concern, his name escapes me, is the terrible pandemic for his state. But he says that Biden is the president-elect. Now, we all know he's the president-elect. We know he won. Strap in, folks. It's going to be a crazy time as we await for the inauguration June 20. As far as my Stratomatic league goes, I have a doubleheader. I have a couple doubleheaders, but I'm going to be broadcasting game 1 of a doubleheader between the Los Angeles Angels and the Chicago White Sox. I'll probably do it early this afternoon, like 12, 1 o'clock. And I haven't set the lineups yet, but I have the starting pitchers. For the Angels, it's going to be Bo Belewski, the southpaw. And for the White Sox, John Buzzhart. The Angels come in 5-9, White Sox 7-3. Strap in, folks. This is going to be a wild, wild ride. Stay strong, stay well. I'll catch you next time.
Here's the next one. This is 1 minute and 27 seconds. It's August 17, 2020. This may be going in descending order.
Good morning. This is Jeffrey Guterman, and this is my morning message. My sleep was absolutely interrupted, like all of last night. Again, I'm having early awakenings, and then I'm pooped, and I fell asleep at like 8:30 p.m. I woke up at 9:30, went back to bed, woke up at 11:30, went back to bed, woke up at 1:30, went back to bed, woke up at 3:30, went back to bed, woke up at 4:30 a.m., and I've been up ever since. I've been very busy. Among the things I've done was I listened to telephone calls to loved ones from the towers on 9/11. That has really put life and death in a perspective for me. I've heard it before, but it was really something to listen to again. And I'm just reminded of what a trauma 9/11 was, and what a trauma so much has been in our lives. Hang in there, everybody. Let's find ways to cope.
Which reminds me, my son calls me. This is me live now. My son calls me every day after work, and he went on about Chernobyl, and he's just learning. He knew about it, but he saw a documentary on it, and it's amazing. Like a sponge, he absorbed so much about the incident. I call it an incident, not an accident, and the devastation it caused. I mean, he knew words and terms and all sorts of things about it, and it's amazing. I'm really proud of him. He's 29. I told him, do you know about 3 Mile Island? And he said, I've heard of it. And I told him, go look that up. Let's go to the next one now. That was number 5. Here's the next one, number 6. This is 1 minute and 26 seconds.
Good morning. This is my morning message from Jeffrey Guterman. I thought it might be a good idea if I provide some of my reflections like I did yesterday morning, I think it was. Other people seemed to relate to it. It was helpful. So let me get right to it. My sleep pattern continues to be interrupted, and I have early awakening. I woke up at 11:30 a.m. I fell asleep at 9:30 p.m. because I get so exhausted. Woke up at 11:30. Then I woke up, 1:30, and then finally 4:15 a.m. I'm very tired. On another note, this 2020 U.S. presidential election has the makings of the most chaotic and corrupt in history. Worse than 2000. Worse than the Hayes-Tilden affair. And it's a really disheartening circumstance we're in. Let's try to make it through another day, folks. One day at a time. Take care.
And this is me now live. I titled this episode of My Glamorous Life as Talk, and that's what you're getting here. Talk. You could also call it speech, language, and the talk. And I learned this through decades of study of epistemology, which I was fascinated with, including how it would inform the theory and practice of psychotherapy. But it's all talk. And talk helps us understand one's mind. And now I'm talking about mental process, which is an entirely different thing. I'm going to go to now audio clip number 7. Another morning message. It's August 13, 2020. This is going in descending order. Maybe I'll go from the bottom up after this.
Good morning. This is Jeffrey Guterman. It's been a while since I posted an audio message with this new feature that Twitter has. So I thought I would just share a few thoughts I'm having this morning. It's 8:16 a.m. I woke up at 4 a.m. That's been a struggle, but you know, I think many of us are struggling with our sleep patterns, not to mention other things, right? Usually around 9 or 10 a.m., I'm ready to rest in bed. I'm in bed right now. I'm so tired, but I'm working at not awfulizing, not catastrophizing about it. There is so much suffering happening in the world, and in particular the United States these days. I'm just doing my best, to be grateful for my situation. But at the same time, I have mixed feelings because I am mortified by the pain and the suffering. I wish all of you best, unless you are a Trump supporter, and then you can go to freaking hell.
Okay, what I hope that background of CNN didn't go too far.
Greetings, everybody. Jeffrey Guterman.
This is from. It's not easy to access these. This is an incident outside the New York courthouse where I think a man set himself on fire and died in the hospital.
Greetings, everybody. Jeffrey Guterman. I've talked about my depression and my anxiety, and today I was distracted, but my anxiety is coming back because of this incident that occurred outside of the courthouse in downtown New York City, where the Trump trial is still ongoing, of a man who reportedly set himself on fire. And if you go to my X account, formerly Twitter, there's information on it, on who this person is. I'd rather not get into it here, but this is very, very disturbing to me. And I just thought I would share that. Thank you very much. Greetings.
And that's just merely to give my experience. I really did feel disturbed about it. Okay, here's the next one. That was a short, actually, a YouTube short. But the rest are all from X, formerly Twitter. Hopefully this will be in descending order from further back toward the more recent.
Good, how are you? Beautiful.
Made nice. This is short also, but
Good, how are you? Beautiful.
She's beautiful. The horse is beautiful. Everything's beautiful.
Good, how are you? Beautiful.
We'll continue now. See if I can get the dates on these. I'm going bottom up now. This is another horse one. It's September 17th, 2024. September 17th, 2024. Beautiful, huh? Here's the next one. This is my third one. Whoops. This is a personal message. And it's stated December 12, 2019. It's a minute and 8 seconds long. A minute and 8 seconds. And let's see what it was.
Greetings, everybody. This is Jeffrey Guterman. I thought I would just give this brief video message before I go lie down in bed and listen to the debate, which is very entertaining. It's raining here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You know, I love a rainy morning. There's only one thing I love better than a rainy morning, and that's watching an impeachment debate on a rainy morning. So I'm going to settle back. I've got a lot of tweets today for OTD on this date, and I'll be doing some tweets, I imagine, on the debates. And join us for Twitter Live this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
That was the third from the bottom. It's not a bad way that I compiled this. This is the fourth one. It's called audio. This is a minute and 21 seconds, June 18, 2020.
Greetings, everybody. This is Jeffrey Guterman. I am providing this brief audio message via Twitter. It's the end of the workday, if you will, over here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I'm getting ready for Twitter Live via Periscope. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going from 6 to 9 tonight for an extended broadcast. It's raining. I heard some thunder. I lit my candle. It's cozy. My loved ones are okay. What could be better? It's time for some respite. We're going to listen to some music. We're going to chat. I'm going to hear from Blowfish, who I love intensely. And I want to thank you all for the support that you're giving me and one another during this difficult time.
Again, that was June 18, 2020. I can only assume it was during the pandemic. Here's the next, the morning message. 2 minutes and 21 seconds. June 19, 2020.
Good morning, everybody. This is Jeffrey Guterman. And I just woke up at about 5:20 a.m. I see it's 5:58 right now. And I thought maybe part of the ritual that I follow would include providing a morning message. And maybe I'll do an evening message, or a bedtime message, just to get into a routine. It's still dark out here, and the birds are chirping, as you can hear. I'm standing outside on my balcony. I woke up in an unhappy mood, a worried mood. I have some personal issues that I'm terribly worried about, but I go through the day dealing with it. Too personal for me to disclose the content of those issues. But I'm gonna plug along. I'm still a fighter. I haven't given up yet. Part of me, there's a nihilistic dimension to me. And part of me hopes there'll be a cataclysmic world event, that'll grab my attention. I know that sounds awful. That's how I feel. So I'm going to get to work. I am focused. I have coffee. And I hope that you have a very soothing day. I'll catch you next time.
This is 2 minutes and 8 seconds. If I'm not mistaken, it's a new one. June 19, 2020. Evening message.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jeffrey Guterman, and this is going to be my evening audio message. I just finished up doing Twitter Live via Periscope. Some of you might have heard my morning message. It was negative. It was, I was not doing well. I had a slight upswing this afternoon, and things are looking a little better. I'm not out of the woods yet with my personal problem. It has to do actually with a loved one going through an illness with pain. I'm not going to talk about which loved one it is. I have many loved ones. But it helps me. It's like a catharsis for me to talk about it, at least in generalities. And I do that to protect the person. They may not want it. At 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I post radio broadcasts from this date in 1939, and it's 3.5 hours. If you have a smartphone, give it time to load. It's going to be interesting. It's a great way for me to escape, to cope. So I'm going to go brush my teeth, wash my face, and then I am going to curl into bed at 9 o'clock Eastern and listen to radio broadcasts. Feel free to join me, and you're all very kind. I appreciate the support that I get on Twitter and Twitter Live. Good evening.
back then my community was basically Twitter, X, not really. I didn't use YouTube too much. I'm going to try to get to this next one in order. Here's a morning message. I am going in order. This one is 1 minute and 53 seconds, June 20, 2020, in the midst of the pandemic.
Good morning. This is Jeffrey Guterman. And I woke up at about 5:10 a.m., which is fine. And I've been just doing my morning routine. I got my coffee. And we're ready for a new day. I'm doing somewhat better, much better. Whatever. I'm doing better than I was yesterday, and in particular yesterday morning. If you heard my evening broadcast, some progress was made in my personal problem. But we need to make more progress. So we'll hope, but I'm not as worried. But I'm definitely concerned and very eager to see how things turn out today. Today should be interesting. There's a death rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I'm looking forward. Actually, this is one rally I'm looking forward to watching. It's a mad world that we're living in. Okay, folks, I hope you have a pleasant day. I'll catch you on Twitter.
Oh. Just got a little dizzy spell. See if we go to number 10. Oh, just bear with me. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to take a little intermission here as I lie down for about 5 minutes, see if it helps. And see if I can come back on. Bear with me. Oh.
If you got a flat roof like this one.
Oh. me see. Let me see if I can make it back here.
Good morning. This is Jeffrey Guterman, and
We did this one. That was number 10. It's not easy getting these folks, even having it on a list. Here's an evening message. 1 minute, 57 seconds, June 20, 2020.
good evening. My name is Jeffrey Guterman. I must say that I'm doing much better than I have been for the past few days because my loved one is doing better.
No, I did this one already.
Who I don't mention. Out of respect for them, they may not want it, but they had an issue, and they're doing better. It's they're not out of the woods. So
I'll tell you what,
I was ecstatic.
I'm gonna just pick some there's so many here. I'm gonna pick some random things.
The world goes. I'm not surprised.
2 minutes, 17 seconds, June 25, 2020. Random is the only way I can go right now.
Good morning. This is Jeffrey Guterman. I'm a little late providing my morning message, and let me explain to you why. I woke up. I wake up several times when I go to bed. I went to bed at about, I don't know, 10 o'clock. Fell asleep at about 10 o'clock. I woke up at about 12:30 a.m., went back to bed. And then I woke up at 3:15 a.m. And this felt like, it was the time to get up. But I said to myself, I looked at the clock, I said to myself, this is way too early to get up. I've done this before. I've gotten up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. But I said, this is way too early to get up. So I went back, I turned on, I used my iHeartRadio app to listen to WBZ in Boston. In the middle of the night, all they do is they play news. So I listened to the news, and I lied in bed and I closed my eyes and I said, just relax until you just let yourself relax and fall asleep. Don't get up no matter what. And I did fall asleep, and I woke up at about, 6:30 a.m. So I think I'm fairly rested. P.S. I had a strange dream that I visited Boston. It was very vivid. And I think it might have had to do with WBZ playing in the background. I used to live in Boston. WBZ is a radio station there. Have a great day. I'm out of time.
Continuing with random selections from this enormous collection. Wow. July 2, 2020, 1 minute and 52 seconds long.
Hello, everybody. This is Jeffrey Guterman. This is I guess we call it a late morning message. I think many people are struggling right now, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and I'm one of them. It's not hard for me to imagine how many others may be feeling, because I'm feeling an awful lot of things myself. I'm about to close my eyes and rest until noon Eastern time, when whatever her name is, Ghislaine Maxwell, the charges against her are announced by New York Federal District Attorney. The world as we knew it seems to be gone, and adapting to this new world is unbelievable. I want to quote my wonderful friend Deborah, who said at the beginning, quote, "This is really happening," unquote. Hang in there, everybody.
I'm going to go to a longer piece, if you don't mind. This is 24 minutes long. And it is see if I can find it being dated. That's really something. Well, it says 1 year ago. There is a place on this where you can see the date. Here, the date is not here. Or at least I don't see it. But I'm going to go ahead and play this for you.
I'm doing a go live together right now, and this is the first installment of my series. It might be an ongoing series called My Glamorous Life. And people are welcome to join me here. I'm in the middle, I know I look like a mess. I am in the middle of sorting out, it's the pinned post up there where you can join me live. I am going through a process here of you see, I have depression and anxiety for the past 20 years. It's been off and on severe, and I've been through the worst time I've had in a very long time. In the past month or so. And I think I have finally made headway to actually find a way to cope with my anxieties. And I'm going to share some of that with you while I take some of my medicine. And if you're here, I'd like to hear from you in the live text and so forth. This is a little different than the Stratomatic. Oh, God. Oh, God. Wash. And Rose Color is here. I'm doing okay. I'm glad you're listening while you work. Feel free to click on the pinned link there to join us if you'd like. Oh. I have suffered from depression and anxiety. I don't know which is worse, but I think the anxiety is worse. They basically they work together. And it's become sort of an obsessive kind of thing. And I think I'm just about making some headway here in trying to overcome it.
No, just for the past 20 years, sir. I mean, I've always been an unhappy person. Always been unhappy. But one of the ways that I work with it is to write down my worries and see to it that I have a plan to deal with them. The first one, I'm just going to call worry number one. I'm not going to share it if it's okay with all of you. And I'm just going to have my faith in a person who can help me with the issues. And just work on a cognitive focus, not to worry about it. Because I have that number one worry. Melancholy is an outdated term, sir. Melancholy is a term used probably largely in the 19th century, which basically refers to depression. We don't use that term anymore in modern days. So I have issues here. That's the number one issue, and I think I can stay with this. Melancholy is not used today. It's a thing, it's an idea, it's a term. That's all it is. We don't use it clinically. If you want to use it colloquially, that's okay. If you want to say, I have melancholy, we may know what you mean. And I'm not going to quibble about that. Oh. Let me see what it might look like if I want to just, and I do not promise any of this, this YouTube recording to be entertaining to you or enjoyable to any of you. I'm doing this largely for myself. What I want to do here is I want to set this up on my landing page as a new section. I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, I have 11, 12. Okay, I'm going to remove one section. You're only allowed to have 12. Okay. Now let's get a section. Oh. I'm lying in bed right now. This is me live, recovering from a dizzy spell. It's good that I have this.
Well, this one's important to me.
It's good that I have this extended one to play right
Put it
now.
right on top.
Drinking plenty of fluids.
Oh shit. No, this is it. Shit, why is this? That's not right. Okay, let me try it again. There we go.
This is me in real time right now, by the way. Not the other recording that you hear.
I guess it doesn't get named. There it goes. Now let's add this.
I'm gonna have some chocolate chip crumb cake by Entenmann's right now.
Part of it is an egomaniacal tendency that I have. There we go.
It's very good.
There we go. There we go, that'll work. Now, we dealt with this first worry. There we go. And I want to say that I do appreciate you all hanging out. You're here for yourself as well, Road Scholar. That's cool. Folks, we have a pinned tweet here. You can easily chat with me if you would like to. Just click this link if you have a mobile device. Okay, so I worked on this first worry, and I have this person who can help me out with it. We will work it out. Now the second issue, let's get the second worry, is money in general. And that is, I will be okay. It will be okay. The third issue is my death instructions. This is for my son on how to resolve all of my issues. And that's almost done. I just have to minor add. I'll do that tomorrow. We can work it out. The fourth issue is the estrangement that I have with a couple of my family members, and that's just not. I don't feel that's resolvable. But there is something I can do tomorrow.
I resolved it after this.
I will do that tomorrow. That's about it. That's about it, people. Those are about all my worries. What I would really like. Oh, this guy is fucking. Be nice to get a repost on this frickin' tweet. So I'm going to stay with this as a very important reminder of all the issues with my worries. There. And this sheet will be the workout sheet. Can you imagine being so disturbed? I'm just gonna call someone up and tell them I love them. And that I'm sorry for all the strife I have caused in my life. the Speaker of the House, but it's not Mike Johnson. And I have a little piece of paper, you know, like a little scrap paper, and with some notes on the readings that were required, and he calls on me, and I don't remember how it went, and he required me, because of my lack of an answer in class, he called on me, he required me to do some sort of reading, and when you look at it online, it cost me $2.95 to purchase, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna withdraw from this course. This course is not for me. And I met with him. A lot of things went on, and somehow I met with him after the course, and I told him I was withdrawing. Oh, that's my neighbor. You hear him? Let me see what he's doing.
He died. My neighbor.
I often get a lot of weird sounds from him. And so that was the first dream. And when I woke up later, I might have even thought of it within the dream. I'm not sure. That it was nonsense, Jeff, get over it. It's just a recurring nightmare of sorts. The second dream I had was that I was at a venue where Taylor Swift was doing a concert, and she was going to come out after the concert, and I was with my son in the car, and I got him, and she looked at me, and I'm not a Swiftie, okay? But she looked at me, and as if to say, okay, she's gonna do a selfie with me and her. And I put the phone up, and I took the picture, and then she walked off, and then I looked in the photos, and I saw that I had the picture aiming the wrong way. In other words, it was probably aiming, you know, not at us, but the opposite direction. And so I was disappointed about that. Afterward, then I had a third dream, which I'm going to get into. But after the third dream, which I've not gotten into yet, I went inside the venue, and they were like, sort of like, not pom-poms, but you know, the frilly, paperish type things that are on pom-poms, you know, for cheerleaders. Well, there were a lot of things. They were a brownish, a light brown, all the same color, and all scattered all over the stage. It was a very small venue, and I took a picture of it. But that happened at the end. Before that, there was the third dream, and that was I'm driving with my son, and we're driving out of the parking lot. And I think this, you know, I have flown, you know, just with my body in dreams, I have flown. Sometimes this is not my dream last night, but sometimes I'll get a gust of wind on a hill, and I can get up in the air and fly. I'm really gliding, okay, but it's like flying, and then I land safely. Well, in this case, I was in the car, and there was a big traffic jam to get out of the venue. And by the way, this is kind of tedious and tiring for me to even recount, but I drove and found myself lifted into the air. Now I'm flying, and I'm trying to get a gauge. I'm flying about, you know, as high as a blimp would go. I've been in a blimp, not that high. I mean, I don't know how many, I don't know, maybe 100 yards in the air or something. And I'm looking at the topography, and I'm trying to figure out where I want to land, and I couldn't find a place to land. And before I knew it, I finally did land safely. in an area with concrete area, but it was cordoned off. Meanwhile, I'm trying to send an email with my phone, and I can't access any of my icons. All of my, like on the iPhone, all of the icons that I'm used to are unlabeled and difficult, if not impossible, to use. Finally, I got one of them to figure out, and I said, okay, so later I can figure this out. But when we were in, I think my car was still in this cement area, again, cordoned off with fences and very enmeshed, so you can't really even see where you are. And all of a sudden there were two other cars, and they were moving kind of slow, and one of them I thought might have hit me. And what I found out later is a woman told me, a young woman, that your vent, whatever the hell that means, your vent was damaged. But it wasn't too much damage. So that was the extent of my dreams last night. Quite a little more typical of the dreams. Then I woke up in real world, and the first thing I did was I made a banking error. And it's not going to make me lose money, but it's going to be having me pay a credit card payment that I didn't need to pay, even though in the long run there is a little bit of balance. So in the long term, actually this would be good because it would lower the balance and the interest rate, but I didn't want to have to have spent that money. So I got off making that mistake, and I was worried about it, and then I found a way to not worry about it. And then I played a game of Stratomatic online on YouTube, here on YouTube. It was the Los Angeles Dodgers at the San Diego Padres. And it was a pretty good game. There were a couple plays that kind of knocked me for a loop. And I think I'm okay with it. Now, it's a Saturday, and I have a choice here. I can decide there's nothing I really need to worry about. I have suffered. I had probably my best day yesterday in a long time, in a month, because I've had really just a very, very nagging, constant anxiety, worry, and depression. And fortunately, yesterday I made a worry list, and I got it right here. And I'm still working on it to make it better. I'm staying in constant communication with my son. And I already took a hit, and I wanted to see how I'm using some new medicine, and I took a hit to see how it fits me, and it really seems soothing to me. It's almost like an indica and a sativa. So I'm glad about that. I'm gonna take a nap. That's what I'm gonna do now. And when I cut back, I will be doing on X. I don't know if I'm up for another Stratomatic game. I might do a Stratomatic update. I don't know right now. I like to keep things open. But I do want to go and do for my subscribers on X, formerly Twitter, I want to do a meta reflective space available only to subscribers on this episode of My Glamorous Life.
And we're constantly looking for innovative ways to use the social media, both to help me cope, maybe to provide some form of amusement or entertainment or interest on your part, and also to generate monetization. So that's about it, folks. That's the update for my glamorous life. There will be no, this is my third installment, and there will be no guarantees that I'll be continuing this program, but I'm going to tell you that for now, this is the third installment, and what I like to do is take a nice screenshot of this broadcast and then use it as the sort of the, you know, you can make each video have an icon, so something like that, yeah. I could pick that up later. Okay, stay strong, everybody. And I'll catch you next time. Isn't out. I just pulled a little muscle, lady. It's okay. Isn't out. I just pulled a little muscle, lady. It's okay. Busy day today. In this episode of my glamorous life, oh, it's okay. It's getting better. It sort of gets out of kilter. It's fine now. I'm taking a... And I need to go to the pharmacy to pick up my antidepressant. And then on the way back, I mean, we might do a little other sightseeing. On my way back, I'm going to be picking up water milk, a meal for today, at least. And appreciate if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let me get what I need here. I will need my wallet. Christ. There we go. And we're gonna head out. I keep my key right over here. That way you always know where it is. We're gonna leave Studio B. If you're in the live chat, love to hear from you. Yes, Studio B. We're on our way. Now the key for me, because I am a 65-year-old man, not in great health. It's so cool out here, it's so nice.
We're gonna walk up here. We're gonna cut through for a shortcut through the shopping center and then just head on this US 1 heading south toward the downtown area. This is a responsibility that I'm really not looking forward to, but it's necessary. And it's an absolutely glorious, glorious day here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The coolness, it's almost perfect. Almost perfect day. This is the Winn-Dixie that is right around the corner from Studio B, and this is where I'll be coming to get water, milk, a meal, and who knows what else. My legs actually get tired if I walk a lot, or I walk any distance. My legs and my thighs actually get tired. Who knows what that is? It could be poor circulation, whatever. And if that be the case, I'll just sit down and rest. It's the Jersey Mike's that I occasionally go to. Take it nice and slow that way. I won't get too tired. This is the Jersey Mike's. And we have to go all the way down there to that's, I don't know if you can see it, that I think it's that second red light. So it's a good walk. And it's actually something like I'm going to cross here. I don't get out much. Oh, there's a red light. I'll cross. If you like Stratomatic baseball, which is a fantasy baseball game, and I do card and dice rather than computer. I've got the Phillies at the Mets at noon. I think that left me enough time. And we'd love to hear from you if you're in the live chat. We are walking south US 1, it's called US 1 Highway. This was a highway before they had what we call highways. I don't know when, in the 20s, the 30s, the first highway was on 95. Then they built the Florida Turnpike, which is west of I-95, and then they have built the Sawgrass Expressway, which is even further west. There's a Cuban cafe. Some people enjoying a beautiful morning. I moved to this side of the street because that's where the pharmacy is. If any of you are tuning in now, for my glamorous life, I enjoy sharing aspects of my life. I'm doing better emotionally now due to some actions I took the past few days. Here's me, if you can see me in the reflection. You can almost see how far we've gone already. I don't know if you can get that point. Here's the Fresh Market. I've gone there occasionally. I tell you, they have good candy. Wow. And I'm doing the best to hold this camera steady. I gotta tell you, many things are hard for me these days. It's not easy for me to frickin' hold this up, you know, while I'm looking. We are coming up to, I guess, what you would call is a car boutique. It's designer cars. This is a kind of strange thing to see here. I don't know what this building is. I guess it's an apartment. I think this is a doggy park, but I'm not certain. This is called the Motor Car Gallery.
for the top 1%, if you will. Look at some of the cars here. This is a Maserati. I don't know how well you can see. It's another Maserati. Look at this car. This is a Corvette convertible. Look at this. This is a Thunderbird Corvette convertible. I don't think you can see it too well through the glass. A Porsche. A Ferrari. Look at that car back there. That might be a Rolls Royce, I don't know. And we don't have too much further to go. There's a 7-Eleven. Looks like there's some construction going on. Not too far. If you look way up there, there's a red light, and that's where we're going. Actually, a little prior to that. There's a sign way up there. I don't know if you can read it. Broward Boulevard, next signal now. Look at this building. Downtown is just up a couple blocks. I'm gonna take a seat for about 2 minutes here. Just to pace myself. Some of you may say, what's with that? You can't walk. You can't walk a half mile or whatever it is, 3/4 of a mile without stopping. Well, like I said, I am a 65-year-old man, and I am not in great health. I have abused my body through these 65 years. Actually, probably the past 47 years, since I was about 18. Oh. Just another minute now. You know, I feel the sun beating down. It's a little bit warmer now. All right.
See, that helped. And we'll just continue on our way. When I get into the pharmacy, I will be holding the camera down. You understand that because they don't like you to be broadcasting live because there's HIPAA violations. The privacy of people getting medication. This is what you call a doc in the box, an MD now, urgent care. I go, if I ever need that, I go to CVS. See, we are on North Federal Highway. As you can see, there's some large buildings here in the background. That's downtown. I'd love to give you a walking tour of downtown, but I don't think I have the strength for that. If you take a left up here, way up there, you get to, there's the Cheesecake Factory. Then you keep walking and you'll hit Las Olas Boulevard, which is a beautiful street. And if you can see the sign, there's a CVS sign right up there. That's it. So we go before Broward Boulevard. Here I am, if you can see me. And this is my glamorous life. It's a Saturday. Here's a big apartment complex called the Waverly at Las Olas, because it is so close. We're gonna cut through here into this shopping strip here, this little shopping center. Right here. And there's the CVS, and that's the destination. And as you can see behind that, there are some tall buildings. That's really basically the start of downtown. I mean, we are probably technically downtown right now. Just head into the CVS. The medication is supposedly waiting for me. And this doesn't take long. Just a beautiful morning here. The weather is cool. It's got to be in the 70s something. In the 70s, like 75. Who knows? I can't tell. And for us, it's a little ripple in the air. It feels cool here to us after we live here for a while. And it's very convenient having the CVS to me. I have no car. And we're going to head in here. It says open 24 hours, but the pharmacy isn't. Pharmacy's back here. And again, as I said, I will be keeping this low because they don't like that. So I'm going to turn with this long line of people. And here's where the patients.
You have a pickup line?
Yes, sir. This is where the patients has to come in. It doesn't take long. You want to know how old these sneakers are? These sneakers are 10 years old. I remember when I got them. I'm gonna keep this down now. Oh.
Yeah, no, you're okay.
Look how they don't even keep these medications available. They keep them locked up because people steal so much. Just waiting in line to get my medication, and they don't like to have the camera up. Oh, Lord, it's getting held up a little here.
This is my evening pill, and I can take it without water.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
Oh boy, what a day. What a freaking day it was. I am inviting anybody who wants to come in here to do so. It's another tough day for me. Lord. There we go. There we go. Another tough day. There is a text in the live chat here. If you have a mobile device, you can join me. Uh, you can join me. Uh,
Good morning. This is my message in the morning on June 27, 2020. and my name is Jeffrey Guterman. Yesterday was a bizarre day, which is the norm. The press conference held by the White House Coronavirus Task Force was absurd, with Pence lauding Trump, citing quote-unquote progress as the pandemic is exploding in much of the country, re-exploding. He's a charlatan. He was originally a talk show host, Mike Pence, and he found a niche in Republican, conservative politics and evangelicalism. He's a charlatan. What else was bizarre? So much was bizarre. The news we're getting now that Russia put bounties on U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan, was it? I'm not sure where it was. And Trump does nothing about it. This would be the biggest story in the world if it wasn't for everything else. Well, today is Saturday. I woke up at about 5:10 a.m., which is good for me. The weekends are typically slower news days, but you never know, given the madness going on in this world. Hang in there, everybody. This is my evening message for June 26, 2020. Thank you for a most interesting broadcast of Twitter Live via Periscope. As usual, it was wonderful to interact with Pops, our beautiful co-host. I'm sorry I lost my cool earlier in the show and blocked that woman. Mistakes will happen. Meanwhile, I just wonder what kind of day tomorrow is going to be. Is it going to be more of the same? The pandemic raging and the Trump administration denying. How many will die? I have radio broadcasts scheduled to post on Twitter at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I enjoy it. It's sort of like I use my imagination and imagine I've traveled back in time. It's like time travel. This is 1939 on this date. And feel free to join me. Good night, all. Taking a walk. To the pharmacy. I have 3 medications ready for me. I'm not a big fan of walking, but you know, I could use the exercise. So I'm gonna do it. And I thought I would broadcast this under the auspices of my glamorous life. Greetings, everybody. Jeffrey Guterman here.
I think-
Automatic Network.
I think I'm gonna call it a night.
Created and curated videos. And I want to tell you that tonight I have a couple of good programs on my channel. They're not related to Stratomatic. They are historical and presidential. One of them is at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. West Coast. The other is at 8 p.m. They don't conflict. The first one is not an hour long, less than an hour. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. The 7 p.m., 4 p.m. West Coast program is President Dwight D. Eisenhower's farewell address, where he warns of the military-industrial complex. Leave it to a five-star general to have the least military conflict during his administration than any president, probably in history. I mean, he could have started something when Russia took, I don't know in his term if it was both Yugoslavia and Czechoslovakia, and Hungary. Now, I could be wrong about some of this, but you get the gist. And it's a very, very, I think it's a very important historical documentary to have available in the public domain. This farewell address, which was on January 17, 1961, this farewell address by the 34th President of the United States, General Dwight D. Eisenhower. And I don't think it's more than 30 to 40 minutes. It could be longer, but it's not an hour. Because at 8 p.m., I invite you to come on my channel
and you'll see the links to them in my playlist. That's a good utilization of the playlist as a list that you present, because it can show things that are, it gets complicated, but if you order something, then it's not visible, but somehow people get it. It's President Richard Milhouse Nixon providing an address to the country on August 30, 1973, on the topic of Watergate. It's an early speech, and I believe it's on the occasion, I don't know if it's immediately following the resignations by Ehrlichman and Haldeman, but at 8 p.m. Eastern. We will have Richard Milhouse Nixon providing an address to the public. And what I did was I obtained both of these speeches, addresses. I obtained them in the public domain. I downloaded them and I put them up. And I had a very good find. If you go to my YouTube channel, this was a good find. KLIF AM radio. KLIF. Kangaroo, Larry, Igloo, Frank. KLIF AM Dallas radio coverage of the assassination of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, of course, on November 22, 1963.
That Connolly was hit in the head and the wrist. Police have now found a foreign-made rifle. Sheriff's officers are questioning a young man who was picked up at the scene. The president was conscious as he arrived at the hospital, despite the fact that he had been struck in the head by...
No, he was not conscious. There's a lot of misinformation, and I'd like to talk briefly about John Fitzgerald Kennedy and what condition he was in as he got shot. Because I have studied the JFK assassination ever since I'm 5 years old. When I learned he was shot while in kindergarten, it was announced on the intercom. And I turned to Miss Fessel and I asked her, am I gonna get shot? And she assured me no. I think that was an early attempt at attention seeking. Am I gonna get shot? Come on. I knew I wasn't gonna get shot, even though I'm 5 years old. Kennedy was struck twice, I believe. I believe Kennedy was struck twice. The first shot went through his back, sort of his upper back center, a little bit to the right of the spinal cord, and it went through his throat, okay? And on the Zapruder film, you can see him like this. And for 2 seconds, maybe 2.5 seconds, he was conscious. And that shot was survivable. Give him a breathing tube, whatever it is. They bring him in, his head isn't shot, went through his back, right through his throat. Hello there.
Um, you know, green is my favorite color. Always, it's always been. And I think when I was asked as a youngster, I wanted to pick a color. And I didn't want it to be red, I didn't want it to be blue. And I went with green because there's so much of it. And where there's green, there's life. And when there's life, there's hope. So that was the first shot. Again, the first shot went through the back of Kennedy, just to the right of the, I don't know if you can see this. I don't want to be too graphic, but right here. Okay, can you see where that is? Right there. Okay. Maybe just a little further over. He was shot here, but it was going up. The shot went not up, but it did go down a little bit through the throat, and this is when he started to struggle. And my point in bringing all this out is that it intrigues me that he was conscious before the kill shot. The kill shot was the second shot, and that one struck him right here in the head. And again, this is from my research. Okay, maybe right here. Can you get an idea? It exploded the head with hair, flesh, bone. When I say flesh, I mean brain matter, freaking brain matter. And the head going, the body on the Zapruder film appears to have him, I'll do it in slow motion, going forward and to the side. A little back and down. Okay? And he was immediately rendered on the kill shot, here's my point, on the kill shot he was rendered unconscious and never regained consciousness. That's number one. Number two, it was a fatal shot. There was no way for survival. Even today, there'd be no way for survival. And finally, therefore, he was, to borrow an old adage, he was as good as dead. And for all intents and purposes, and please excuse my language, but Johnson was the president. But he didn't know it. He was taken to a room, Johnson, and protected heavily, his person. They wouldn't let him out. I mean, you know, they didn't have to be too persuasive, but they said, and finally, after some time passed, he said, well, what's going on? And someone came out and said, he's dead, Mr. President. Someone addressed him as Mr. President. And I do an imitation of LBJ. When they flew back to Washington, LBJ comes to some microphones set up with Lady Bird. She just stands there, and he goes in and he says, "This is a sad time for all. Please help me as I try to carry on, and if we can get help from God." That was a terrible, I mean, the first part was good, but the rest of it, I should have just cut it off. This is a sad time for all. Johnson was quite a character. So that's really what happened, and I'm fascinated with that analysis that I think is a pretty conventional analysis. You don't have to quibble with me or even debate me onto where the shots came from or what, but he had a frickin' bullet shot. Firstly, going through his back, out his bottom throat. And that was survivable. If attended to, he'd be in critical condition probably initially. You got to just check out, major organs. He's in shock, vitals. And what would happen if that was the only shot? Okay, what would have happened if all the shots missed? Okay, or just Connolly got hit, and then Oswald got caught. Anyway, that's basically what happened, and they give an account here. It's KLIF, kangaroo, liposuction, indignant. Frustratingly, it's KLIF AM radio in Dallas with the latest reports on the assassination. It's something that I don't want to say I'm proud of it, but I sure do think that to be able to obtain this documentation, which is an AM radio covering it, but the whole issue of him, this happened at 12:35. They sped to Parkland Hospital. They worked on him supposedly for 20-25 minutes. I think first he died, then they called the priest. He had already died. They called the priest, gave him last rites, and then they announced that he died. And the announcement came around 1 p.m. I know that's, if you want to say 1:03, maybe, latest. But the declaration of his death by a physician was, how could I put it? Expected, but there's a better word also. It was a fatal shot. And literally, I'm not one to exaggerate in a thing like this. A portion, and I don't know how long it was. I think it was something like here's my best guess, 1.5 inches across of the head was blown out, and that's the top. It's in the back right here. You remember? Okay, it's right here. And I'm saying 1/2 inch goes across, and it might be maybe 1 inch down. Now that's a big piece of brain. It might have been a little bigger. And that's, I want to tell you, that is a friggin' lot of matter. And, you know, it's absolutely, it really, if you stop and look at it, based on eyewitnesses, she had it, and others had it, spewed on their bodies, on their face. I think Connolly got sprayed on the face with some of Kennedy's brain matter. It is so horrific that although, and I really want to share this with you, I want to get this out to you right now.
The leadership reacting with comments of, oh God, and this is terrible.
This guy's good. This is very dramatic news reporting, but he's very good.
News flash about the attack on the chief executive of Texas Governor John Connolly. I can't even find words, Mansfield said after a hushed pause. My God.
I love the intonation in his voice. Lyndon Baines Johnson, you know, it was just wild. Okay. Just absolutely wild. So I really encourage you to go on over there. There it is right there. Where you can find it is you go to my channel. And you know, I always say if you're really going to be viewing something, you know, a desktop or at least a tablet, just the size of the screen, you want it to be big. And you just go right to my page and just scroll down a little bit to where the hell is it? Shit. My playlist, there it is. I'm sorry, JFK speeches and other audio related to Kennedy. Now, I also have Zapruder being interviewed. He took the home movie, which is arguably the and that's there. And that's worth watching. If you've never seen it, it's certainly worth watching. Got that Kennedy. And, you know, if I get maybe two more of JFK assassination material, I may create its own playlist, because he has one just of press conferences. Now, my curating these, downloading them, uploading them, and labeling them. You know, he had 64 of them. I think I have 18 now. JFK press conferences, 20. I have 20. There's 64. And I'm going to cross-reference with someone I know who has them all. I don't know him personally. But there you go, JFK speeches highlighted there. The KLIF interview right here on the left. And it is 1 hour and 15 minutes of some pretty alarming news of the JFK assassination.
Of course, was viewed from throughout the world. The whole world remains in a hush of anticipation, a shiver of dread.
And you know, I thought I would share something else with you all. Something that really got me. I'm not gonna show that to you though. I'm gonna talk about it though. I did a video where I had just a I guess you would call it a screen show or whatever it's called, where pictures would just go one after the other. And oh shit, just unbelievable. You know, I want to tell you something. I was, like I said, 5 years old, actually 5.5, in kindergarten, sitting in a semicircle with Miss Fessel, about, you know, maybe 2 chairs. One kid was sitting next to her. I was next to the kid. That's Miss Fessel, our teacher. And we have an intercom on the wall. And I can almost see it, but it's such a faded memory of actually seeing that intercom. But that, I haven't thought about what really it looked like. It was a pretty plain intercom, and it suddenly announced that the President of the United States was shot. And I immediately turned to Miss Fessel and I said, am I going to get shot? And from there was the beginning of an unfolding of understanding pertaining to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. I'm saying since 5. I mean, I was talking to kids. My first brush with conspiracy theories was later that spring of '64, in like maybe April or something. And I saw replays, maybe not live, but replays of Ruby shooting Oswald on Sunday, the 24th of November, '63. So we're in recess at kindergarten in like April '64, and there's 2 kids and me hanging out in this open grass area, and then there's a fence that I guess fences the school, and then I guess it's residential after that, I'm not sure. But one of them says, Oswald is buried here. And I don't remember what the other kid was doing, but I was thinking, that's bullshit. Now, I didn't have that language, which reminds me of a funny story, if you don't mind me sharing it with you. When I was about 5 years old, maybe even a little younger, but about 4.5, 5 years old, I'm in either nursery school or kindergarten. I'm not sure. And my mother, of course, I got this story from my mother. My mother got a phone call from another mother in the neighborhood about her Tommy. And she said, she complained to my mother that your son Jeffrey used the word penis. We don't call it that, we call it a pee-pee. And then she angrily asked, why do you allow Jeffrey to talk like that and call it a penis? And my mother replied, well, because that's what it's called. And, you know, she read Dr. Spock